You know who to call when the lights start flickering. Bill Slevin's on the case. In a quiet town when the lights go low, there's a whisper soft and a TV glow. Bill Slevin's gear is packed and tight. He's chasing shadows through the night. With EMF meters and calm control, he's looking for truth inside the unknown. No tricks, no fear, just what he knows. He's the man to call when the cold wind blows.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bill Slevin in our very AI-generated video and song for the show. Dr. Bill Slevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was great.
I hope you liked it. I looked a little weird in it, but you play guitar really well, I have to say.
AI is fun.
AI is fun. So let's jump into it real quick. For those of you new to the show, Bill has joined us every year around this time. We talk about the paranormal, his area of specialty. He is a paranormal investigator, doctor of parapsychology. Bill is our expert about everything. So if you have questions, please put them in chat. Join us in the conversation. We want to talk about everything that is coming up, especially if you have questions about the paranormal in your life. So with that AI thing in mind, I really want to start real quick. Has AI made your job a little bit harder?
Oh, God, yes. Let me tell you. It was bad before with people faking things and people. Now it's out of control because with AI, I mean, it's getting hard to really even understand what is real and what is not, because some of the stuff is so well done. I mean, we use programs, but I don't know what programs these other people have, because some of them are just amazing. I mean, you see them online doing celebrities and things like that, and some of them you could never tell the difference. So it's going to make it really complicated.
Yeah. I don't even know a way around it really. Like, cause as soon as somebody says, well, you have to have two different people with two different independent cameras, AI can do that too. So it's going to be a lot of trust issues, I think, going on with a lot of people. So I think the advice here would be, if you're going to get into paranormal investigation, you better have a really good reputation for truth and honesty at this point. Your story better be clear for your whole life if it's a good one. So, So the news, since you've mentioned a number of times on the show that you're a fan of Matt Rife. I think our very first, you were a couple days away from seeing him live in concert. We tried putting it out there that it would be great to meet, and you'd gladly give him a tour, and I'm sure that's still out there. But in that time, Matt Rife and YouTuber Elton Casti they've acquired the Cult Museum of Ed and Lorraine Warren, where Annabelle, the real Annabelle, is behind glass on display. Right. That's an interesting turn of events in the paranormal community. How's it impacted everything? How are people feeling about it?
Well, I mean, it depends. There's people who don't like it, and there's people who like it. There's always going to be haters on everything. My take on it is, I know Matt Rife is a big paranormal enthusiast. I don't know Elton too well, but I believe that they'll preserve it, because first of all, what they bought was the house. They bought Ed and Lorraine's house. The museum is attached to the house, so obviously they own the museum. Yeah. Yes, they own the museum, but they don't own the artifacts. They don't own Annabelle and all that stuff. That's still owned by Tony and Judy. They're leasing it, and they're like the caretakers. And I believe they're trying to get it into a full-fledged museum where people could go and visit. That's what they're working on. So the house is different. The house is there to get as like an Airbnb to investigate. So there's some people that don't like it. There's some people that you're always going to have people against something.
Change is bad to at least half the people in the world. So 2 days ago, speaking of houses being purchased, the Conjuring house, which was going to be up for auction after it didn't sell a couple times, was purchased by a mysterious buyer. Yes. Is the paranormal community speculating this is also Rife? Is he trying to buy himself into the Conjuring movie franchise now?
I've seen a lot of speculations. I know definitely they're at the top. There was also well, Jason Hawes was trying to do a GoFundMe to fund it to buy. And then also, there's a lot of people talking that it could be Zach Bagans, from Ghost Adventures. I don't know. And then there's people saying it could be somebody that was close to the original owner that got it. I have no idea. I mean, if it was me, I would try to speculate. Maybe it was Matt because they already have, Ed and Lorraine's house. Maybe I don't know. I just hope it's somebody who's going to preserve it and take care of it. That's all. These are.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah, their history. They're a piece of history in the paranormal world. So
I think even outside of it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Even if you don't believe in a single thing about this, it has changed the dialogue in America. It has changed how people think about certain things. It's created a movie franchise. This is history for whatever it is. So, yeah, I think it's important that it gets preserved, just as important as Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's things and that's why I say, like, with Ed and Lorraine's house, it's like Matt, I believe, is going to take good care of it, Matt and Elton, because I think they're not just doing it just for money. They're doing it to preserve that in history. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable because they also have a name in the history of this world, and who wants to be the name of somebody who destroyed something or didn't take care of it well enough? So yeah, I have high hopes. So speaking of the history, I was doing a little research. I don't know a lot about Annabelle. So I did a little digging, and I guess Annabelle Higgins was the name originally, and they thought perhaps it was a human child inhabiting the doll, and then it was this is demonic. How does one tell the difference between those two things? For instance, like is the human possession of an inanimate object even possible?
Well, in my beliefs, I don't believe it can possess it. I believe it can use it as like a conduit to be there. I don't believe it's actually possessing it because it can't possess an inanimate object. It can't take over. There's nothing to take over. It's inanimate. So it can attach to it and use it as a conduit. But there's a lot of different things of how you tell between something that's like a ghost or a demon. In this case, the original, from what I understand, the story was that they called a medium in, a psychic who came in, and she was the one that believed it was a little girl who was killed outside the apartment building. But that, again, they can be duped by a demon, so that's why, from my understanding, Ed and Lorraine went in there, and it was, Lorraine who was like, hey, this is, both of them, this is not a little girl, because she has the ability to tell. But the other medium, who knows? Maybe she just didn't know enough. She didn't, know enough to really look into it. But, that's what I think,
No. That tracks with what I mean. Who is she? Who's a medium who, like, I mean, the medium's not even really named as far as I understand.
Not that I've ever heard. I think it was somebody.
If nobody giving a reading, then maybe they weren't at the top of their game, let's say, or they were easily lied to, because I mean, in every story of possession or whatever, it's not like the devil's like, by the way, I'm a demon and I'm here to. It doesn't work that way. Like,
exactly.
Not even a good. So as I'm reading into the story more, the three people who Annabelle, she was gifted, the Raggedy Ann doll was gifted to Donna, her daughter, who lived with Angie and her fiance Lou, or somehow they were.
It was from. I was going to say, from what I know, it was Donna and Angie, and the boyfriend. I don't know if he lived there, but he was there sometimes, from what I know.
Okay, firsthand witness, but so there's been. I'm just curious what your thought is, whether these were real people or they were characters based on. To hide the people involved more. Have you ever come up with a theory or a thought on that on your own? Because I honestly, just in what's turned up, I would imagine people would show up by now, especially with the Conjuring movies, to say, hey, that was me. Can I write a book and make a lot of money and sell some autographs? So I'm thinking if the records are there, would you suspect that these would be character creations based on real people, or?
I don't know, because I mean, as far as I know, the stories I've heard, which is supposed to be the true story of Annabelle, came from people, kind of directly connected. So, as far as I know, that was the truth. I don't know why they've ever come out. I haven't come out. I don't know if anybody's ever spoken to them. Some people involved in some of these things, they don't want to be known. They don't
Sure.
want the publicity. They don't want, it could be that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one.
Okay. Yeah, I just wonder what your
Yeah.
feelings are. I know you're not. This is not your area. It's not even your part of the world. For the
No,
most
but I
part.
mean, I have some connections through to them, but not, I
Right.
know a little more maybe than but I don't know that deep.
Okay. No, appreciate it. Like, and even the insight just from dealing with people over the years,
Sure.
because I'm trying to come in to understand what people know and see. I'm really a real outsider to this. Outside, I know the movie is based on a real story, but I haven't even dug into the Warrens that much outside of research that I've done for this show. Not necessarily with
Right.
you, but with others. Not paranormal, but that's a longer story. But the so the one thing I have after talking to you these past two times and learning that demonic possession is nothing to play around with. It can be deadly. It can break your psyche even. The thought that I have is, would you think that the more responsible thing would be that Annabelle should be cleansed or and possibly destroyed? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, it depends. I mean, I don't know what their thoughts were originally, but I believe, and I'm just stating what I think. I believe the whole point, and this is from my knowledge too of being around haunted objects and stuff, is that if you destroy Annabelle, it doesn't destroy whatever is attached to it. It's just going to go somewhere else. But if you keep it contained in the case and it's blessed and it's contained, the belief is that it's going to stay there and it's not going to go and harm other people. I
Do you
mean,
know anything? Yeah, no.
that
Do you know anything about the blessing? I don't even.
I I don't know about that one. I don't know if we have in the chat Father Bob, who is actually Father Bob Bailey, who I work with on some things, and he's part of the Holy Sword Apostolate, and he is the one that actually goes with them on tour and blesses Annabelle.
Okay. Oh,
So
wow.
if he's there,
Wow.
he could jump in and say something. But
Bob, if you're there, I'd love to just know anything about it. Traditional blessing, does it change over time? Is it about how long is it? That sort of thing. I'm just curious from an outsider, like what contains or what helps keep things moving smoothly. So I'd love to get those details if you're out there and if you care to answer. I appreciate it. But the one reason you're here, Dr. Bill Slevin, is you have released 2 new books. The first one we're gonna talk about a little bit. That's your life story, essentially, a living, life haunted, true journey through the paranormal. Sorry, it's a mouthful for me. First off, that's a big book. It's almost 400 pages. This isn't just something you dash together for like a quick buck. This is your whole life.
So it took me at least 3 years to put this together. And it was because, I've been doing this 36 years. I've been part of over 1,000 cases. So it's like, what do I put in, And I kept putting stuff in, taking stuff out. And then I got to the point where I'm like, I don't want this book to be a case book. I don't want you to open this book and just read all my cases, because I could tell those stories all you want. I wanted it to be something different. I wanted it to be a true autobiography to teach people what it's like to really be somebody like me. So the stuff you don't see on TV, what we deal with outside of the cases, what happens when we go home from a case, our own personal experiences that maybe helped guide me into this, things that happen that I had to deal with, and then it talks about there's some funny things in there. There's some frightening things in there. There's some of the demonic cases are in there. Things about the shows I was on and things like I did like a full journey through my life in the best way I could without making it 1,000 pages.
What would you say was the hardest chapter for you to write?
My crazy it is, maybe the chapter on my team, because I struggled with that one, because I'm like, I don't want to make a chapter talking about my team too long that I'm going to bore somebody. But I wanted to showcase every person on my team, who they are, why they're there, how I found them, because I'm very picky about my team. And my team is an amazing team of people, you know, a group of people. And I wanted to make sure everybody was highlighted. It was a tough one because I didn't want to go too long. I didn't want to go too, you know, that was hard.
I think it's also important that people learn that teams are important. Like if you're going to get into this, you shouldn't go alone. You need a team. You need people you trust, people who will show, people who have good judgment. So you had to write that chapter. You absolutely did, like what people should be looking for, or the corners they need covered, so to speak. So no, that's great.
The other one was the little chapter I have on something that happened to me that helped solidify things with what I believed, and it involved my grandmother who passed away. And that's a tough one because even when I try to tell that story at a lecture, I get choked up from it, and it's from a long time ago. And it's something that just really made me believe in this, you know, as much as I do. And it was way back, probably when I was like, I think it was like 22, somewhere around there.
Wow. Yeah. I as you know, I was very interested in paranormal occult, everything related to the other world, so to speak. When I probably started around 13, going to the library, getting every book I could on everything, and never really had that moment, which is probably like around at 22, where I just, you know, I got involved in heavy metal and partying and all that stuff. So it's interesting to see that. Yeah. Oh, you froze. I think we had a freeze here. We'll let Bill pop back in, let it rebuffer. Guys, is he frozen for you too, or am I frozen?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah.
Back then.
Oh, wait.
Oh, hey, there he is.
It was very hard back then.
Bill, you froze. You froze for about a minute there.
No, not quite a minute, but yeah.
There we go.
Like a minute.
That's what happens when you talk too much about Annabelle.
Damn it! Josh fixed the Annabelle problem.
I'll work on it.
All right. So where were we? What? Let's go back over that. I don't think we caught much of it.
Right. What we were saying, I forgot. I know what I was saying. I was saying it's hard. It was hard back when we were young to find info. There was no Google. There was no YouTube. There was no internet. There wasn't people talking about this. We had to go and try to find the few books you could find in a library, you know, and people didn't openly talk about this all the time because they would think you're crazy. So it was a lot harder when I started back then, you know.
Or you were instantly evil trying to do something bad because you're touching this, you're interested in this one thing. Like it was, I remember that, he's devil worshiper. And then Geraldo Rivera didn't make it any easier for a guy who's into heavy metal to be interested in ghosts. Like,
exactly.
That was a bad. I think it was 1988. He did that, so it was bad. When you go through this book, which by the way, great pricing on it. I have to say, like for a 400-page book that is that comprehensive, go check it out on Amazon. I'm not shilling for it. I'm going to actually get it myself. It's the next big book I read on my list. Thank you for putting it up. That's amazing.
There it is.
So. When you sat down to write the book, what inspired you? Like, why is now the time? Why did Dr. Slevin say, now I'm doing this?
I'll be honest. When I first started, probably 5 years ago, I said, I want to write something. I've read so many books. I mean, I've read almost every book out there that's on the subject. I've read so many books about how to be an investigator, how to investigate, you know, and I read all of them. And every one has something in it that I liked. But to me, I never saw something that was a full, correct story. Not story, but a thing of how to do this. A real how-to book with, you know, you would get into something and then they would go off on something that I just don't believe in. And that's just me. So I started writing a book about how to do this. And then when I realized residential investigations and public investigations are so different that I need to split that into 2 books. And I started doing that. And then I said, you know what? I need to get my story out there first because I think it's important for the people who don't know me to be able to learn who I am and everything before I put out a book on how I do things.
I agree.
That was my thing, and I really wanted to get this out there, but I struggled with it for many years. It was you just have so much over my 36 years. It's like, what do you put in, what don't you? You know, it's tough. And I was never a writer before, so I didn't know, like, am I putting this together right? Am I going to make everybody fall asleep? But so far, the reviews I've had from people have been just amazing. I've been, I've been overwhelmed by it.
That's great. Did you like the writing process? Do you think you'll be doing more and more?
I did. The editing process was crazy. I didn't expect it to be what it was. My editor is really thorough, and I've known her for a long time, so it was good. She helped, and the stuff she found, I wouldn't have even noticed. There's a lot of people out there that think you could just put your book out without an editor. I wouldn't suggest that at all.
I don't care what you're writing. If you intend to publish it for other people to purchase and spend even $1 on, get an editor, get somebody who will tell you what's wrong or just fix it and show you what you should have done. Get an editor. It's not optional. I've purchased books without an editor in the middle, and you could tell. I read a lot of new authors, and when there's no edit process, even if they're really good, if they're technically good, you can kind of tell that somebody didn't rein them in where they should have, or so get an editor, at least get other opinions, even if all your writing is technical. So congratulations to you on figuring that out on book one. A lot of people don't.
It's a process too, because like I was going back and forth with her, and she's like changing words. She's like, no, let's use this word instead. You use this too many times. I'm like, you can't. That's because she doesn't know the paranormal. I'm like, that's the word you have to use. You can't use a different word. So there's a lot of back and forth with it, but it turned out great, And David Sloan, who's a good friend of mine, he's the one that is the caretaker. They call him the doll tender of Robert the Doll down in Key West, and he wrote the foreword. He's an amazing guy. I really appreciate what he did and helped me with this. And I was down there 4th of July weekend with him. I stayed at his place for the week.
Remember, he froze right here when he stayed for a week, guys. You get. You're muted. There's Az.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Oh wait. Bill, you froze again.
And Robert for the book.
Bill, you froze again as soon as you said you were there.
No more doll talk.
No,
oh my God, I really didn't even notice that. It's 2 for
Robert
2.
would absolutely do that. This is perfect.
And both of them are right back there in the case. So,
oh, that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful.
All right, I have to ask you a question. I was going to save for later, but who would win in a fight, Annabelle or Robert?
I don't know about that one. Robert was never known as a. Yeah, well, Robert was never known as a demonic doll. He wasn't out there trying to, kill people. But so I don't know. He might. I don't know. I don't want to say anything against.
I've seen a lot of letters of people afraid he would.
I think it would be a draw. I'm not taking sides.
They're both equally. Please don't hurt me, dolls.
Yes.
So you started saying you were there for a week. You got to spend like a week or so.
A week. Yeah.
Continue with that story, please. Yeah.
I spent 4th of July weekend down with David at his house, and we went out and we took some pictures with Robert, to put in the book. And David's just a great guy. He's been always very supportive. I love everything he does down there, and it's just always fun going down to see him.
That's awesome. Did you get some personal time or anything one-on-one time with Robert to?
Oh yeah, I mean we were in the museum. I've dealt with Robert now for at least 15 years. I have a good connection with Robert. I was joking. I was actually did 2 lectures up in Connecticut at the beginning of September, and I was lecturing with Joe Frankie, who was part of the Warrens, and he was talking about a bunch of things, and I came up and I was talking about Robert, and I wanted to bring my little Robert with me because I bring him anywhere if I'm lecturing, but called superstition with things. I've been doing this a long time. Did not feel comfortable bringing him on the plane. I would not pack him in my suitcase and bring him on the plane. People could laugh, but I've been doing this a long time. I ain't playing with that.
Do you check him in his baggage or?
Yeah, I'm not putting him in my suitcase. No,
I wouldn't. No. Has your Robert ever been near the real Robert?
Yes. Well, no. Well, I bought him from the museum, so he was in the museum originally. But I do have another one that David sent me one year, and It's Robert dressed as like an elf on the shelf. It's a Christmas Robert, and it comes with a card that shows a picture of him on top of Robert's case, and it says, "I spent the night with Robert," and it has the date, so that he was spent overnight on top of the case with him.
Just playing with fire. I love it.
Yeah.
Live dangerously.
Let's just do this and see what happens. That's hey, that's what October's for. Let's talk about this. Zaz, you had a question that you wanted to ask. Do you want to ask it, or do you want me to?
Well, you can. It doesn't really matter. It just kind of goes back to a previous on our last discussion about do's and don'ts, or things, misconceptions, right? And it's anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge movie nerd. Like, I mean, and there's obviously the trope that Americans kind of get everything that they know from a movie, right? And like they're running, like if it didn't happen in a Charlton Heston movie, people wouldn't know anything about the Bible, right? So with that said, it's kind of like along the lines of like, what trope annoys you when you see movies like, oh, would you please stop doing that? People are going to start thinking that's a thing. And what really are you passionate? Like, I wish they would get this right, because it's so much more fascinating if they did it XYZ this way.
Ooh, and you're talking about in the movies.
In movies, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The movies are tough because the movies are always completely changed, and they have to make them dramatic for theater.
Right.
If you're talking about in the paranormal world, like actual investigators and stuff that learn from internet and from the thing, my main thing is learn how the equipment works. If you're going to use a piece of equipment, learn how it works, learn what makes it go off naturally. Don't just think every time the light goes off and something beeps that it's a ghost. You have to learn what actually triggers that to know if you're going to get real evidence. Don't use ghost phone apps. I'm going to get some crap for this, but the phone apps are, look,
phone apps.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. And people use them all the time. And here's the thing. Could they actually work? It's possible. I mean, we believe spirits can manipulate any kind of electronics, but there's too many things against it to prove it wrong, because they're programmed. So they're programmed to produce, some of them, not all of them, some of them use GPS to know where you are, active listening to hear what you're saying, and AI to respond to you. So there's many things. And for people who say, well, no, I didn't accept that it could go into my contact. It can go into your contacts. Right. I've been in the IT field for 33 years. Believe me, yeah, you don't have to approve it. It'll get your contacts.
Can I ask you a serious question? Like a super serious question? Do the phone apps, do they use Bluetooth?
Some of them I think do. I don't know. Some of them Bluetooth to speakers. No, he said Bluetooth. Things like that. Yeah. Bluetooth. I heard that now, but yes. I missed that at first, but I got it. Right now. Sorry, that one passed me. You got me on that one. No, that one passed
He's a dad now. He has to.
That was good.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
Back to, there is something related to that question as well. This is October. Obviously, it is the season of spooky and paranormal and people playing with it. Are there safe ways for people to play with paranormal or paranormal related things,
right,
to experiment with this world?
Well, I mean, with anything, like people always think a Ouija board is the doorway to the devil, and I don't totally agree with that. A Ouija board is a piece of wood. It's a game. It's a piece of wood, and it's a plastic planchette on top of it. It's not about the board. It's not magical. Yeah, there's nothing special about it. It's just when you use it, it's your intent of what you're doing, and how you use it depends on what happens with it. But it's the same thing as if I pick up my digital recorder or my REM pod or my EMF meter, whatever. Anything we use is trying to communicate with the other side. So anything you do, that's why, like, the first thing I teach my team members, if they're new to this, don't ever use your equipment in your own house. Because if you grab a recorder and you sit in a location and you ask questions like, is anybody here? Anybody here? Anybody here? You're eventually going to bring somebody in. It doesn't mean the place has to be haunted, but you're putting it out there to the world there, to asking them a question. So yeah, I would say the same thing. Learn what you're playing with, understand how to use it, know what to do, what not to do. As far as going out, if you're into this and you want to, go out and investigate, yeah, go on a ghost tour, go on a ghost hunt, find maybe a local team in your area that'll bring you on an investigation. Don't go to people's homes. That should be reserved to people who really know what they're doing. But abandoned locations, I'm not supposed to,
No, yeah.
promote that, but there's a lot of things that can happen to you. There's environmental problems. There's the cops. There's a lot of things that can happen if you go into an abandoned location. Just be cautious if you do. That's all I'm going to say.
What would be a good way to approach these teams, like to show that you're serious, to respect them and their time? What are good ways to approach local teams that you might want to join? That would increase the yes.
Find their website. Try to reach out to them and just say, hey, I've been doing it this long. I'm interested in learning. Is there any way I could come along on an investigation, or can I, even if I could join the team or anything like that to learn a little bit. Don't say, hey, I just bought a recorder and I've been watching Ghost Adventures for 3 years and I know what I'm doing. Always ask and say that you want to learn. It's about, teams will be more, in my opinion, real teams will be more intrigued with you if they can see that you're willing to learn and you want to know what you're doing and how you're doing it, and not just going out there and trying to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, without naming names or causing any bad blood, are there red flags that people should be aware of when looking at teams to possibly join up with or go on a hunt with?
I mean, that's subjective. I would say do the research on the team, see how long they've been doing it. If you're really, in my opinion, if you're really interested in this and you really want to help people like we do in people's homes, I would say look and make sure at least one person on the team has been doing this since before the TV show started. Because if you have somebody that more like me, that's more old school, we learned a different way, and we learned, I don't want to say the right way, but we learned a different way. We learned in a way where we had to earn what we were doing, and we had to really learn things and not just, watch a TV show and say, okay, they did this, let's go do it.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
And in a TV show, there's instant gratification because of editing. Hey, we're going to go here. Ooh, something scary happened. Ooh, we caught this on tape. Versus How many hours have you spent in a house bored off your ass?
Well, that's the thing. I won't name names, but I can tell you one show I know of specifically that takes 26 days to film an episode. So now that doesn't mean it's 26 days investigating. They're doing other stuff too, but there's a lot of days investigating. So they put that together for the 45 minutes, and you're seeing all the best moments of what happened. We go out and we can be out there for 12 hours with 5 people and tons of equipment and get nothing. Happens a lot and boring for most people. So I understand why they do it. I love
no, I'm not even complaining about that. I'm just saying people who go out there to do this are expecting the instant gratification instead of sit in that room and be quiet.
You need patience. You need a lot of patience, because you're not going to go and instantly get something. You may go, it could take you many times before you actually capture something that could be something real. It's harder than people think. It is.
What would you say your longest drought is between something that you were convinced what was legitimate evidence to the next time you found something you thought was legitimate evidence? Because you're out doing it a lot. I don't think any short answer is bad or any long answer is good necessarily, or vice versa. But
it's tough because, when we do a residential case is so different, than a public investigation. Public investigations, we go out, have fun, we try a lot of different things, and we normally will get something, because it depends. Like when we do a public investigation somewhere, we may have 6 team members, we might have 4 or 5 team members from another team that we work with, War Party Paranormal. We have a lot of people doing many different things, so you're more likely sometimes to get something. But real clear evidence, it's tough. I mean, sometimes we get something almost every one on a public. We might get something that we really feel was something good. In a residential home, it's different because we're using some of our psychics that are even going in remotely, through Zoom when we're talking to them, and they can see things and clear stuff out before we even have to go there. So it's different. It's different how we do it.
So to go back to the book you wrote, you also wrote another book that is published this year, Paranormal Investigation Case Log, where people can write down the information and keep logs and notes. I'm fascinated by this book. I've never seen anything like that or heard of it. Again, I'm not necessarily in the world all the time. Can you tell us about it and why did you create this?
So there are a few out there I think I have seen here and there. I haven't even announced it. I mean, it's up there and it's live. I never even put it up because I've been working with this book. What I did was I took most of the papers. Like when we do a case, we have documents that we fill out to keep all the records for the case. So I took as much of that as I could take without making it specific to like a residential case. So it could be residential, it could be public. And I put it into the book and I made it to where there's 10 throughout the book. So if you buy this book, you can log your cases, whether it's going on a ghost tour, whether it's going to, the local cemetery, or whether you're going into somebody's home. It has kind of like a guide. It has things about the history of the location, and it gives you place to write up all the history. It has things like checking off the moon phases and the temperature and the humidity and the things that we use to try to do actual research. So like I said, even if you're a person who just goes on a lot of ghost hunts or ghost tours, if you take this with you, you could write down all your information and keep it. Yeah. And there's enough for ghost tours. Yeah.
They should Key West would be a great place to have this book in a stand in a gift shop, because all the ghost tours in New Orleans. Right. Yeah, that'd be great. I never even thought about that. Like, you don't have to be a full-time investigator to actually use this book. If you're going on ghost tours, if you're like anywhere, like I know people vacation not year round, but every yearly vacation is a ghost tour of some sort, and they might not be investigators, they're just curious. This would be a great keepsake for that, a great scrapbook. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I think I might get it because when I go to Key West next time, I'm going to go see Robert, and we're going to see. My wife won't go. I'm going to go see Robert's, and hopefully maybe even get to hang out with you a little bit. So when it comes to evidence collection, you got me thinking here. Annabella's collected evidence. Robert, not so much. Robert was with him forever, pretty a long time. Like it's not something taken. Have you taken evidence, and what do you do if you do? Like if there's something that's channeling something that should be removed from the scene, what happens with those things?
It depends on what it is. I mean, sometimes it can be given. Most of the time, it's given. If it's something that we know, we might dispose of it in the way we know how to, or it could be given to somebody who collects and takes care of items. I'm pretty sure like people send stuff to John Zaffis and there's different people, or they donate it to museums. Like if you go to the East Fort Montello Museum where Robert is, there's a lot of items in there that were donated. And Robert was donated to the museum by not by the original family, by the lady who bought the thing, Myrtle Reuter, and she bought the house, and then she became attached to the doll, and she loved the doll, and then the doll did something to her, pushed her into a room, closed the door, and held the door closed, and she brought it to the museum and said, "I don't want this doll; it's haunted. You got to take it." So people will go to museums or people they know collect.
Okay. I was just curious, like, do you recommend, I mean, obviously you recommend only somebody who knows what they're doing even touch an object like that, but yes. Which brings me to a kind of another question that Zaz had brought up before you joined us. Zaz, if you want to pop on the screen, I'll ask it, but you're Catholic and you know the Vatican archive. Do you know of any artifacts that might be there? Is there anything there that you would like to be that you have interest in or have heard anything interesting about?
I mean, that's pretty good kept secrets there. I would love to get in there. I was in Italy about 3 years ago. We were in Rome, and before we went, I tried everything, contacting every person I could over there to get in to talk to some of the exorcists or into anything, and I didn't get anything back. It's a tough thing to get into there. It really is. They're very very closed off secrets. I don't know if anybody will ever know.
Yeah, I'm not even like Dan Brown painted a good picture, but I would just like to even see the room, even if they didn't let me touch anything. Like just like how far is
Yes.
this? How deep is it? Like just give me a sense.
Well, Father Amorth, I mean, the records from, because they're going to keep massive records of every case. So Father Amorth, the amount of cases that guy did, you know, I can't even imagine what's in there. You know, I would love to get in there. I would read a few of those.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to throw on that? Or
No, I mean, it's just one of those things, you know, reading about as a kid. It's, you know, you kind of hear those things and you know that there's always, I think we say it's, here's what you know. And it's like like think of the earth, and it's like the thin crust of things that you know. And obviously there's a big old fat layer below that you don't know. And that's kind of the frustrating / you know, fascinating, curious part about it is we do know they have a place, you know, they put these things, and there's got to be a layer below that as well. And knowing that they've interacted in such a way where they said, yeah, actually we do partake in these rituals and whatnot. We've actually taken it. Like, you can't be the only person to take some evidence from a scene, right? Yeah. And these guys are very high level, you know what I mean? So yes. It's fascinating. And you know, eventually maybe that stuff might come out, maybe it won't, but it's always nice to like say, hey, what did you hear? You know?
Right. Well,
I really like the idea of the Vatican having its own Warehouse 13.
Yes.
I would love to know how deep that goes down in the Vatican. There's got to be some serious vaults down there. I mean, I like what was the movie? The Pope's Exorcist. That was the one with that was about Father Amorth. From what I understand, that was taken from an actual case of his. I don't know if that's totally true, but they were talking about doing more of those, pulling more cases of his. So I don't know if they're allowed to pull real cases or where they're getting the information from. I don't know. I would love to find that out too. I don't know.
I think we have another freeze here, and we weren't even talking about the objects we church.
This time
we're talking about the Vatican.
Yeah. So
there you are. Welcome back. You know, I never thought the Vatican would do this to us. Who wrote this next quote? We have somebody wanted to ask a question about John Constantine.
Oh, that was me. It was more along the line of, it was going into, you were talking about, you know, who would win in a fight. And I was like, screw it. Let's just get weird with it. Which John Constantine, Matt Ryan or Keanu Reeves? I mean, let's go.
I don't know. I'd have to go Keanu.
Yeah. I mean, yes, 10 out of 10 agree. You know, sorry.
Now I'll tell you this. If you want to talk about shows, I don't know if I said this last time we're on. If you want to talk about shows, a lot of people ask me, like, what movie or what show, what do you think was the most realistic to something you do? Watch the TV show Evil.
Yes. If my God.
If you haven't watched Evil, that is what we do. That I'm so mad that they took that show off the air because it was so real. Of course, when they start playing with the demons and stuff, it's a little, you know, they have the demons are a little weird looking and whatever, but they have a priest, a forensic psychologist, and a tech guy. And the three of them are put out by the church to go assess demonic cases.
Okay, yeah, I do remember
angels.
this. Yeah.
Hey, froze again?
No, you're good.
I'm good. Demonic cases, angels, miracles, all things like that to assess what they are. And most of the time, they're nothing. They're not real. You know, so it's a very real show, and the way they do it and the way they actually like debunk things and everything is actually really amazing. And it's more what we do. You know, I was amazed by that show.
That's really cool. The way you describe it, at least in a partial, I don't know if you ever watched Project Blue Book when you were younger. It kind of followed. It seemed like it followed that. It was UFO investigators, Air Force guys that would go out and investigate. But what I remember, and it's been forever, like a lot of episodes didn't have a resolution, or they just had oh, that was a weather balloon, and they explain it and they show how they get the evidence and how all these things matter. And that's why I like this. Again, I could be completely misremembering it. It's been since I was the 70s since I've seen this, I think. But that's kind of this. Now I'm very interested in seeing Evil, right?
Yeah, Evil.
Yeah, Evil. Oh, Evil's fascinating. Yeah, it's and just because, like you said, it has a little bit of like Asif Manvi plays like that tech guy, and he introduces like a layer that of like skepticism. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's atheist, I believe, and And it's Michael Coltier plays the priest. He has his own challenges that he deals with, and the way the demons are portrayed aren't like just straight evil creatures. They do some psychological stuff too, and they're kind of twisted in their own right. But there's this overarching like capitalist like demon type. Michael Emerson plays them just brilliantly, just brilliant.
It's a great
just
the nun,
wonderful bad
the
guy.
nun is the nun
she's
is
the main
best
character. Yes,
I love her.
Yes, yeah. Fascinating show.
You talked me into it, guys. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Well, I wanted to say one other thing when you were talking about like with the equipment and stuff, because there was something that just happened recently. So I work with a tour down here in Davie, Florida at Flamingo Gardens. It's a little zoo, and they do monthly ghost tours now. And they have me come in as like the celebrity, investigator, and some of my team members actually run the tour and everything. So when we were down there, I was telling them about, do you guys know what a REM pod is? A REM pod is it's a round device, has a bunch of lights, has an antenna, and it creates an electromagnetic field around it. So when you tell the spirits to go toward it, they have to break the field and the lights go off. So this is one of the examples. We told people, I said, we learned now as a tech guy, I know what it does. If you bang on the floor hard, sometimes it could go off because it's very sensitive. But you really have to break the field to get it to really go off. But we found out if you push the talk button on a walkie-talkie, most of the time it will actually set the devices off. And I was telling them about that when we were inside the Ray home, which is on the property. And I had a lot of devices set up there. And somebody had a walkie-talkie on them that worked there. And I said, let's see. And I pushed a button and 3 devices started going off. So That's what I'm talking about. It's like teaching them how look for this stuff,
Yeah. And it goes down to as simple as, do you remember the old days of cell phones near your computer monitor?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd make a noise on the monitor and then your phone would ring. You could pretend to be a genius. Oh, my phone's about to ring. That's how
I used to be old school. We used to take bells on a string and hang them on the cabinet doors and put flour on the cabinets and things like that, back in the day before a lot of the tech stuff came out.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Was it Amazing Randy who was the guy who would debunk some things like that? That sounds like very Amazing Randy.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing Randy has destroyed people.
Yes.
But he was always sincere, and I don't think he ever was mean about it. That's the one thing I never. The Amazing Randy always got to me. Like he was very no bullshit. This is where I'm at. But he would treat even somebody who was clearly just scamming somebody for money with respect. And usually, I've never seen him like step out and go, "You're." Get in their face or anything. He's like, well, obviously you did that, and that's okay. But we know how you did it, and walk away.
They did portray that guy in Late Night with the Devil. They kind of did that situation, but things take a turn. Things get wacky. Amazing Randy. That was a fantastic one, but it was the Amazing Randy character was kind of smart, snarky, and fun.
Yes.
Before we move on to anything, I want to talk about anything you've done in the past year, anything cool, fun things you've discovered or witnessed. But I want to just a real quick question, because I didn't ask you this, I don't believe, the last time, and it's such a good question. I hope you're not offended. But did you like the Patrick Swayze movie Ghost?
Yeah. Actually, that to me, honestly, that is more real in a way. So for me, what we believe, again, everybody has different beliefs in this, even people in the field with me. I believe a ghost is somebody who, like his character, who died but hasn't moved on yet. So they're either stuck here, they have unfinished business, they're afraid, they don't know they're dead, things like that. Where a spirit is somebody who passed on and is coming to visit. And then a demon is totally separate. But a ghost, like when we're in houses, we don't get scared of that stuff anymore because ghosts can't harm you. They don't have enough, they can't harness enough energy for some reason, we don't know why, to do anything. A demon's a different thing. They're a different level. They can attack. So ghosts, they might knock something off a counter. So I do point out ghosts sometimes like that, because what did he do? He was sitting there trying to harness all that energy just to pick the penny up the door, and like, I find that to me more real to my beliefs. You know,
I get it. For me, and in all seriousness, the scene where the murderer gets drugged to hell was one of the more convincing things. Like, that's the way it would happen. That's absolutely how it happens. Like, one of those things. Like, I know it's cinematography and all that stuff, but like, that spoke to me. Like, I can see that, sure.
Depending on your,
it was absolutely a good movie.
Oh yeah, and depending on your level of religion and how religious you are, that could definitely frighten you. Because
the scariest thing was the train scene where the guy the ghost on the train like comes out of nowhere. Like that was
get off my
sticks with me to this day. Yeah,
right. That guy was like a comedy actor on like Three's Company and stuff like that to me before all that. And he's like the heaviest character I've seen on film in a decade, just screaming.
Right.
Yeah, I think it goes signs outside alien during the party, and then guy on the train screaming, "Get off my train!" And like it's like
those are great moments. That again, that's one of the reasons the movie's great. Apparently, we have a hastily thrown together AI fight video that we're gonna show you now. I promise I'm gonna ask about what you're up to lately. I just love having you on because you get this stuff.
What are you doing? What is? Oh no, I see this loading already.
I don't know what Josh is up to.
We'll see if it works. We'll see.
I'm afraid.
Hopefully it works. Me too. Terrified.
Ladies and ghouls, welcome to the haunted showdown. In the left corner, from Connecticut's cursed room, Annabelle. And on the right, from Key West's glass tomb, Robert the Doll. Let's get cursed. Evil out. I'm Annabelle, queen of the scream scene. Movie deal sequels, I reign supreme. You're a sailor suited puppet from a dusty display. I'm possessed by a demon, you're just stuffed hay. I made priests crash, broke skeptics' pride. Even Warren's museum couldn't cage my vibe. You're sitting in a case while I star on the screen. Bow down, sailor boy, to the horror queen.
Oh please, Annabelle, your hype's all fake. Hollywood plastic, not a soul to take. I've been haunting since 1904. Before you were patched from a thrift store floor.
Taurus, beg me please, don't curse my ride. I got letters from the scare worldwide. You need actors, I need no stage. I'm the OG doll that birthed your rage.
Respect the original fighter fright. Two cursed dolls in the pale moonlight. One's all fame, one's old school fear. Who's the baddest doll in the haunted frontier?
Fight, fight, fight. Your old news, Robert. Antique dust.
Okay. We're gonna upload that later. You're gonna have to. That was.
I have to now tag later on. I got to tag David Sloan and some of the people from Nesper into this to watch that.
This is what we do here. That was beautiful, actually. I'm just now terrified to go to sleep. I think we've angered two entities at this point. Speaking of, did we talk about the movie Entity last time you were here? I think it was.
I think so. I don't remember.
That movie terrified me as a kid. That terrified me as a kid.
Yeah,
that might be another reason why I didn't get involved in the paranormal as an adult.
Those things drew me in. I don't know why.
I watched it many times because it was one of those HBO movies that they played 3 times a night every night for a month and a half. Yeah. But it terrified me. I still watched it. I'd run to the room to watch the ice exploding at the end. If you don't remember.
A lot of people didn't know that was based on a true story.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know if they froze an entire room to capture the thing, but based on a real story, totally. Yeah. I do remember that. That's one thing I think makes some of the better horror is when it's based off a real life thing. So you get down to I'm trying to think. There's a movie I saw recently that was based partially on a real story, and I think that's why it was good. Otherwise, I'd have been like, you're semi-creative. But knowing that real people dealt with something for real, similar to that, I think it locks it in. So I wanted to talk to you about reality. How has your past year been? It's been about a year since we've spoken with you. I think a year minus 1 day, perhaps. Right. And how are things been going in the paranormal world? How have your investigations been going? Shock me, amaze me. What's been going on?
I don't know if I could shock you too much from this past year. It was we've been doing a lot. I mean, we do, we have residential cases, we do some public stuff. I was working on the book a lot. I was traveling a lot, especially now that the book came out. I've been traveling to a lot of places that people are bringing me in, as a guest, and lecturer. And I will tell you, last year it was for New Year's Eve that week. I was up in St. Augustine. I used to go up there almost every year between like Christmas and New Year's. And the people that run the old jail tour at night in St. Augustine, they were nice enough to bring me in a couple nights, and I went on the tour with everybody. And let me tell you, that place is really active. I can tell you this, like there's a lot of, I mean, St. Augustine is great for just about any place. You go into the grocery store and it's haunted, but, that it's the oldest city in the country and it's the most haunted city in the country. But, the old jail tour actually impressed me really, really, really well. I mean, there were some things in there that I'll be honest, I took me by surprise. We were in the one room that's the Lulu, who was the sheriff's wife. In her room, and it is a museum during the day, so there's a lot of original artifacts. And there was like this old 1930s metal typewriter that's sitting on the counter, and they tell you don't touch anything. It's a museum. It's all. And I was standing there. We were doing some EVPs and some stuff in the room, and all of a sudden, at a corner of my ear, I hear click, and I look over at the typewriter, and I said, "I'm hearing things," and then click, click. And I went and I said, no, I grabbed, I didn't care. I picked it up. I took my flashlight. I swore it was rigged. I really did. I said, they rigged this. And I picked up the flashlight. It was not rigged. And then I grabbed Giselle, one of the tour guides, and I go, what's up with the typewriter? And she said, it's exactly what I thought the first time I heard it go off. So it kind of caught me by surprise. It was a very fun night. It's a fun tour. It's a real investigative tour. It's not like your average ghost tour. Yeah,
and that's another reason, by the way, you need a seasoned investigator, because only people about our age knows what the sound of a mechanical typewriter sounds like.
Exactly.
Like that's not something that you could fake on us.
Right.
Like I know that sound. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, there's a lot of things I can debunk, especially being in IT for 33 years, but I could not debunk that. I mean, is
there paper in it?
No, there was no paper in it. That would have been, I got to tell them, maybe put a piece of paper in there.
And fresh in the ribbon. Maybe it's like telling us something.
If it works, that would be amazing to see what comes out. But if you know those typewriters, you got to push those keys pretty hard to make it click.
I had before I had an electric when I was younger, because I thought I was going to be a writer. But I remember my father and mother both had an old school, like hard throw. Even the 70s ones that were non-electric were hard to throw. Like it wasn't like a keyboard click, click, click. It was a finger down. You had to mean it to even make noise. That's really, really. I want to go.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly.
I want to go. I want to go there.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good thing. You go in overnight. It's like 12 to 3 in the morning, and they have a full range of equipment for everybody. And they only take in 12 people a night. So
how much would that cost somebody like me?
It's to the tour itself.
Yeah,
it's like I think it's like 125 or 100, something like that. It's around there for each person.
I'd do that, sure.
Yeah, and you get a good amount of time. They split you up into two groups. One goes upstairs, one goes downstairs, and then they switch. And they have a ton of equipment for you to use, and they have equipment set up in there. So it was a lot of fun, and it was pretty active. I went 2 nights in the 1 week, and both of them we captured a lot, which was impressive.
What's this city again?
St. Augustine, Florida.
St. Augustine jail tour.
Yep, the old jail in St. Augustine.
I'm very serious about. I might put that on a list very soon.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
St. Augustine is you have the lighthouse, you have the old jail, you have the cemeteries. There's so many things in St. Augustine. The Castillo de San Marcos Fort. There's so many things up there that it's worth going to.
All right, I think you've talked me into it, and if I go, I'm sending you a message. it's your state. You could. I'll try. Hey, I want to talk to you about any upcoming dates you have where people can meet you, book signing, any way that they can get in front of you and say hi. Do you have things going on where people can come say hi, Dr. Bill Slevin?
Yeah. Oh God, there's a bunch. I'll try to do them real quick if I can remember them all.
If you
October
send them to me, I'll also try to get them below in the live
on
video,
there.
and then
Okay.
as much as I can on the edited one later. Yeah.
Right. October 18th, I'll be in Ontario, Canada, in Aurelia at a Horror Fest. It's a one-day event. The following weekend on the 25th, I'll be in Clarksville, Tennessee for a Horror Fest. I have October 30th, I'll be at the Miami Lakes Library. November 22nd, I believe it is, I'll be at the Coconut Creek Library. November 6th, I'll be at the Transylvania Restaurant in Connecticut. I think that's everything I can think of right now.
For the nearest. Yeah, cool. No, awesome. So guys, go buy the book, go to one of these events, have Bill sign it. Sorry, Dr. Slevin. Have Dr. Slevin sign it. We've met you so many times. And first off, support this responsible investigation style. I'm gonna get your book before I go to St. Augustine and see if I can fill it out and what I see and find. Like, I think it's a great thing. Like this, that's a package. Like somebody who, like, if you're looking for a present for your spouse and they're into this sort of thing, get the book, book the trip, set this all up. You have something. You're welcome. Thank you. The Real Story with Nathaniel. And Dr. Slevin, I love it. This is great stuff. Anything else you want to talk about or bring up, or do we have any questions that have popped up in chat, guys? It's been pretty quiet.
I was going to say, anybody, if you want to know where I'm going to be too, I think they just popped up. My website, billslevin.com, has everything. If you wanted to hire me for an event, you could go on there on the page, and it has the information from my manager, Asia, who's Methodical Management. You can contact her to hire me for an event, to lecture or whatever.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I have a blast with you every time. This could be a 4-hour show, and I would do it if you let me. So thank you so much. I have a billion questions. I wish you the best, and congratulations on your book.
Thank you for having me.
Please go and buy it. Been Down in a Corner. It's on Amazon. It has great reviews. It's almost 400 pages, and just do it.
One last thing. If you get the book, please leave a review. It's really important for us. It helps a lot, and I love to hear the feedback. You know, even if it's not 100% perfect, I don't care. I want to hear.
Let them know. Yeah, and when you see reviews are so hard to get on Amazon. I would say for every couple hundred books purchased, you see one review. So if you buy any books on Amazon and you're trying to support a new author, somebody out, like, please write a review. And that's not just for Dr. Slevin here. It's for anybody that you buy a book from on Amazon that's out there starting something new. That's how you really support an artist.
Even if you get a book at an event with me where I'm signing them, you can still go on Amazon and put a review. It won't say verified buyer, but you could put in there that I got it in person at an event, you know, and it helps us, anybody.
Nice.
Every review helps. You do more for the artist than purchasing the book by writing a review.
Yeah.
An honest review too. So.
Yeah. I want to hear it, good or bad.
Helping your next book.
Yeah.
He kept saying the word "and totally," and I didn't like it. Then you know not to use it in the next book. So yeah.
Right.
Hey, thank you so much. I hope we didn't get you haunted with that video. We're going to put that video up as a short somewhere, possibly on Instagram. I don't think it's too long for Instagram. We'll put it on a YouTube channel and link it somewhere. So thanks so much. Josh, thanks for doing that. Zaz, great questions. Everybody who watched, everybody who participated, thank you so much. And especially you, Dr. Slevin. Again, we'll talk to you next year, I hope. We'll talk to you the year after. I'll have you on this show as many times as you'll have us.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Good night. Be safe out there.